Here with my good buddy, the former 154-pound world champion and one of the best analysts in the game for Showtime. You see him on Showbox. He'll be calling the Spanish version, I believe, on Saturday night.
Yes.
Raul Marquez. Raul, what's happening?
Oh, I'm excited, man. I just got in today. Actually, my plane was a little bit late, but I'm happy to be here. I missed the press conference, but I heard a lot about it. I heard the fighters got a little edgy, and the trainers or something like that.
They were fighting with the families in the crowd.
Well, that happens. I mean, the guys get edgy. They're ready to fight. The team they're tired of doing all these interviews, but they got to do it. It's part of the business, and they're ready to weigh in. They're hungry. They want to get hydrated. They want to eat, and they're ready to fight.
So 2 days before the fight, what are the? I mean, you fought world title fights. You fought big fights.
Yes.
What are these guys thinking right now? Take us into the minds of Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. A little bit more than 48 hours before they get in the ring on Saturday night.
Well, everybody's different. Everybody's different, but the main thing is to remain focused, remain calm. Make sure you get good night's sleep both days, especially the night before the fight. I've learned in the past, sometimes you start thinking so much about the fight. I mean, and this happened to me before. I mean, you'll lose sleep, man. You'll start thinking, I'm going to do this, the game plan. I'm going to do this, do that. Okay, and you say, I'm going to go to sleep. But then you keep thinking about it. Before you know it, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Then it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And then you don't get the right sleep, So it's very important that you get the right rest. I'm sure these guys are elite guys. They're top-level guys. They've been in big fights, but probably not this kind of fight. I think for both, this is huge. They have to be. It's normal to be somewhat nervous in some kind of way, and there's good nervous and there's bad nervous, and hopefully it's good nervous. For both.
There's I guess one of the backdrops of this fight, or what you compare it to, Leonard and Hearns and stuff like that. This two really undefeated guys, top.
Yeah.
Do you see that type of thing
when
I talk about this fight?
No, I don't, because I'm old school. These guys were like, when you talk about Leonard, Hearns, Duran, Tommy Hearns, Hagler, I mean, those guys were that they were, that. Put it this way: this fight, these two guys right here, Crawford and Spence. Yeah, this is the biggest fight of this decade for us. It is. I mean, they're both very talented guys. They really are. But Tommy Hearns, Hagler. I mean, I was a big Hagler fan. Duran, they were huge. Sugar Ray Leonard, all of them.
So you think that? I mean, is this going to be one of those fights that maybe 40 years from now we're going to say, "Hey, I remember when Spence and Crawford met on a hot July night in Las Vegas"?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It is that kind of hype, especially for the younger generation. To them, this is like the Four Kings. Like my boys.
I guess maybe that was the question I was trying to get at.
Yeah, more like my son, both of my sons, the oldest one, Arturo and Raul, they're coming in tonight. They're very excited. Giovanni's coming because he's staying back. He's getting ready for his fight. But it's one of those fights. For me, it's always going to be Duran, Chavez, Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns. But am I going to remember this fight? 40 years from now? I don't know. I'll be like 90-some years old. I know we're going to be around, bro. But listen, it is going to be a fight to remember. But for the younger generation, it is most definitely. This is to them what those big fights for me were. Make sense?
How do you see this? I know you're calling the fight, so you don't really make predictions or anything. But how do you see? Well, first of all, before we see how playing out, what are we looking for? Give me one thing early to look for from Errol Spence and one thing early to look for from Terence Crawford.
I mean, just the confidence. I want to. For me, Crawford is. He's the more to me. He's got to box, and pick his spots when he wants to box and when he wants to go toe to toe with Errol. But Errol's a very sit down. Jab. Early on, just look at both of those fighters. Look at both of the fighters' body language. Look at their face, their confidence. Right now, I see like more confidence in Errol. That's the way I see it. I'm not saying Crawford. I mean, maybe that's Crawford's personality, but he's a little bit too. I don't know. When we had him the other day on the fighter meetings. He's not a guy that smiles too much. He doesn't laugh. Maybe that's his first time.
He's been called ornery in his day.
Okay, but Errol, he was laughing. I was cracking jokes. Me, I'm a jokester, and He was laughing. We go way back. Him and Derek Gaines, we won the National Journal together in '87. So we go way back, and I don't favor Errol because he's from Texas or because I know Derek. Now I'm telling you who I think is going to win, but I think Errol's going to win. I think he's going to win.
Terence is a guy, and I asked Antonio this, so we've lost southpaws in him. Terence is a guy who's, I think he's naturally right-handed, but he fights about 70% southpaw. Mm-hmm. You as a southpaw, what should Errol do against a southpaw? What should Terence do against a southpaw? Does he fight him southpaw 70% because that's what he does? Does he throw right hands because the quote antidote against the southpaw is the straight right hand?
Yeah, I said this before. If I was Crawford, and I asked him that question in the fight meetings, if I was Crawford, I would turn more right-handed and, hit him with right hands and left hooks like you're supposed to beat a left-hander. Because if, me and you are here, we're left-handed. I'm left-handed. Get left-handed.
Oh.
You're left-handed right there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm closer to you. If you get right-handed, you're further away. Believe it or not, you're further away. And even if you take a step back, you're still further away. But if you're left-handed, and I'm left-handed, I'm Errol, and you take a step back and I take a step forward, I'm still close. The range is closer. And I think that kind of fight favors Errol. So I believe that Crawford should change it up, mix it up, fight more right-handed, go left-handed at times when it's safe. That's what I would do.
Crawford, I think he's the best in the business at two things, and I'm leaning Crawford.
I could see that now.
Leaning Crawford. This is why I think he's the best in-fight adjustment fighter out there. He's been in fights where he's not looked great early. Sean Porter fight, Kavaliskis, Gamboa lost the fight, but somehow he just. I've been saying this in every interview, and it's driving me crazy. Collects the data. Downloads the data, and then round 4, round 5, he seems to pick it up, turn it on.
Maybe it's just, boxing IQ. Yeah. Boxing IQ, his brain, he knows how to make those adjustments, adapt real quick on point. It doesn't take him, around. He does it like in 5-10 seconds, and he is that kind of fighter. Yeah, I do see him. Again, he's gotten hurt by guys like, Gamboa, who's a little bitty guy. Errol's not no Gamboa. I mean, by the time Errol gets inside the ring, he's going to be 170, 175. Yeah. I think he's just naturally the bigger, stronger guy.
So you think size is going to matter on Saturday?
I think size matters again. But listen, like it's a very evenly matched fight. I'm not trying to say that Crawford can't win. It could come down to, hey, listen, I mean, sometimes people have bad days. Like I'm having a pretty good day today. I don't know what kind of day you're having. Or, some people wake up, think maybe they overthought the fight and they didn't get right sleep the night before, or just not having that kind of day. So it could come down to that. But I feel that Errol will break him. I feel like Errol will break him. I think early on, of course, I mean, they're both high-level fighters. They're in great shape. And I know that Crawford is going to give, his footwork, his speed, his abilities. It's probably going to give Errol a lot of problems early on. But after that, I think the 4th, 5th round, I think Errol's gonna break him. I just he's gonna break him.
So you think stoppage? Yes. There you have it, Raul Marquez, one of the best in the big. You know what? You're not gonna be able to get rid of him. You know why?
Why?
Next week in Bethlehem, PA.
We'll be there. Oh yeah. We'll look forward to seeing you, buddy.
Bethlehem, PA for Showbox.
Thank you.
So definitely one of the best in the business. He always breaks it. Can you give me the finish? The Marquez area. Showbox is not officially.
Is this hand?
Showbox does not officially begin until right when Barry brings on and you give the
there we go. There we go.
Well, nonetheless, I think Saturday night is going to be a fantastic fight. Great night for the sport. And, hopefully the fans out there, the quote casual fans, they tune in to watch. This is one thing where I think everyone's going to get their money's worth on Saturday night.
Oh, absolutely, man. Make sure they buy the pay-per-view. It's the fight of the decade. It's a very exciting. I mean, I was on the plane from Houston to here. Got all people recognize me. They're asking me who you think is going to win. So that's the type of fight that brings this. Look at this press room. It's packed. People are talking about it. It's
I was saying one question before I let you go.
Yes.
Obviously, they've been trying to make this fight for 2 years. 2, maybe more than that, 2-3 years.
Yeah,
is it better now? Better because it's happening now, or
yeah, I think so. I think so. They knew how to make it more exciting, and it was bowling. Now it's to the top, and it's ready to be explosive, and hopefully something hopefully it lives up to the hype. Something big happens. We people want to see knockouts, we want to see action. Whoever wins deserves the win, and man, I'm excited to be covering this fight. I'm excited to be a part of Showtime pay-per-view.
That's Raul Marquez. Catch him on the Spanish broadcast, and catch him August the 4th live on Showbox. Oh, we have a nice card. Jordan White take on a Houston kid, Errol Garcia. You know it?
Yeah, actually he's fought with Giovanni a couple of times. Good fighter, Dominican, had a lot of amateur background, a lot of amateur experience. He's, I believe, 17-0. It's going to be a good fight, man. Showbox always puts on.
Absolutely. We got Johnny Spell take on Julian Gonzalez. A big knockout. Johnny Spell. Wait till you hear his story. I don't know if you got the notes yet.
I haven't. I did, but I haven't gotten into it.
He's got an interesting story.
Let me do this fight.
Raul, we'll see you on the broadcast. We'll see you next week in Bethlehem, and we'll talk to you along the way.
All right, man. Thank you.